Welcome, dearest friends, to TIBP Live. The world is now being conditioned to choose between following a beast or the image of the beast. April 19, 2026. The Pope is traveling the world, and last week he went to Africa promoting one world religion. It has began. Same appeal as Pope Francis, subtle but straight, abusing the word peace to bring people to submission to Rome, having the papal Antichrist as their leader.
Face à la misère.
Pope Leo is doubling down on his message of peace as he wraps up a historic trip to Algeria.
Although we have different beliefs,
The pontiff meeting with both Christians and Muslim leaders in the African nation, calling for unity between all faiths, calling for unity between all faiths, calling for unity between all faiths.
we can live together in peace. And so I think that to promote that kind of image, is something which the world needs to hear.
The Trump and Pope Leo clash intensifies up to now, but the ultimate truth is that Leo is pushing one world religion, Sunday Eucharist, while the land beats USA. President Trump is pushing Sunday worship to make America great again. Moving forward, all eyes on July 4, 2026, the 250th anniversary birthday of America. How the Trump clash is forcing the world to choose. I find it interesting that the Spectator, April 16, 2026, what's really behind Trump's clash with the Pope? On April 16, 2026, The Spectator published a striking cover image depicting Donald Trump and Pope Leo XIV look in terse confrontation. The magazine declared the clash historic, stating that never in the history of the United States has a sitting president attacked the Pope with the intensity and directness that Donald Trump has displayed. What this prophecy revealed to us is that the setting up of a counterfeit worship and two powers, world superpowers, will collide. Are you ready for the future? Kindly like and share this important prophecy update. Revelation 18 talks about the power of Babylon that will control the economy, that will control how we live, and those who will not accept the mark of the beast will be slain. What are we witnessing right now is far more than a personal feud. It is a strategic back and forth, a deliberate positioning for supremacy. The world's most powerful nation, the United States, and the world's most influential religion, Rome, are testing strength, influence, and global allegiance as they maneuver to determine who will stand on top when the dust finally settles.
The left should know by now Trump's not the Messiah. He's just a very naughty boy. Speaking of naughty boys, the Pope started making up Bible verses in his bid to make Trump look bad.
Jesus told us, "Blessed are the peacemakers." But woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth.
Now, Jesus did say, blessed are the peacemakers, but the rest of it, well, I can only assume the Pope was auditioning for a spot on The View, where they too just make stuff up.
At the heart of the clash, President Trump and Pope Leo lies a deeper and more consequential question. How much influence should the papacy exercise in global affairs? And should the United States bow to Rome? Bible prophecy reveals that United States, along with the Sunday apostate Protestants, will bow to the Antichrist, Rome. We are witnessing a rapid fulfillment of Revelation 13. And is fulfilling in a fast pace. A storm is coming, and the Antichrist is working hard to unite the world into one world religion. Have you ever heard about the saying, a wolf in sheep's clothing? It seems to be a harmless agenda. Green Sabbath, Climate Sunday, for the sake of saving the environment, a mandatory rest day. But those who have studied prophecy and what the Antichrist did during the Dark Ages, they will see this ecumenism as an abomination in the sight of God. There are estimated 10,000 distinct religions worldwide, though nearly all of them have regionally based, relatively small followings. There are nearly 4,000 recognized faiths around the globe. However, almost 75% of the people follow one of the 5 main faiths, which is Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. The Spectator published the following: Donald Trump's latest clash with the Catholic Church stunned even the most hardened veterans of culture war. According to the President of the United States, the Chicago-born Pope Leo XIV, the conspicuously holy spiritual leader of 1.3 billion people, as they call him holy, I don't call him holy, is weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy. He also claimed that if I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Trump's rhetoric may have been mild in comparison, but the fact remains that once in 250-year history, the United States as a commander-in-chief launched a personal attack on the Supreme Pontiff. New York Times, April 16, 2026, reported that the Pope responded with a series of sharp criticisms against Donald Trump amid a growing dispute with the Trump administration over the legitimacy of American attacks in Iran. Leo used a speech on Thursday in Cameroon to express woe to those who manipulate religion and the very name of God for their own military, economic, and political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth. Leo is saying that Trump is manipulating religion, the very name of God, in their own military and economic political gain. Actually, personally, and based on prophecy, they are both manipulating these for their personal agenda. On April 12, 2026, Pope Leo XIV addressed the faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square, declaring that Sunday is the indispensable day of worship for Christians. Do you accept this, dear friends? In doing so, he reaffirmed one of their teachings, that it should be the teachings for all Christians, that Sunday should be the Lord's Day and it is indispensable. He says that the plan of salvation includes Sunday Eucharist. It is indispensable in the Christian world. Is Pope Leo preparing the world to accept a counterfeit Sabbath? Is Pope Leo attempting one world religion right now? The answer is yes. It is through the Eucharist that our hands becomes the hands of the risen one. Dear friends, I strongly object to what he said, because Jesus did not taught us in the scriptures to keep Sunday as the Lord's Day. The Sabbath, Saturday, is the seal of God's creation. It is a memorial that God created us. When the Pope speaks of Sunday Eucharist as indispensable, he is directly linking the Christian life to participation in the Sunday Eucharist Mass.
Ma Dio è Dio per tutti.
But God is God for all.
E come Dio è Dio per tutti, noi siamo tutti figli di Dio.
And if God is God for all, then we're all sons and daughters of God.
Ma il mio Dio è più importante del tuo.
But my God is more important than your God.
È vero quello?
Is that true?
C'è un solo Dio lì. E noi sono idiomi, cammino, lingue per arrivare a Dio.
There's only one God, and each of us is a language, so to speak, in order to arrive at God.
Qualcuno è Sikh, qualcuno musulmano, qualcuno
Muslim,
Hindi, qualcuno cristiano,
Hindu,
ma
Christian.
sono diversi cammini.
There are different paths. Because every religion is a way to arrive at God. Because every religion is a way to arrive.
Face à la misère.
Pope Leo is doubling down on his message of peace as he wraps up a historic trip to Algeria.
Although we have different beliefs,
The pontiff meeting with both Christians and Muslim leaders in the African nation, calling for unity between all faiths, calling for unity between all faiths, calling for unity between all faiths.
we can live together in peace. And so I think that to promote that kind of image, to promote that kind of image, to promote that kind of image is something which the world needs to hear.
That all, regardless of your religion, must bow to Vatican policies and doctrines. By claiming that early Christian martyrs, just like in Africa he mentions, could not live without celebrating the Lord's Day of Rome. The Lord's Day of the Bible is the Sabbath. And they that choose to die death rather than renounce Sunday worship, the Pope is using this argument to reinforce one world religion, to reinforce the false notion that in some way the Christian faith is inseparable from Sunday observance. Dearest friends, I would rather be on the Lord's side. Kindly type in the comment section, I will stand on the Lord's side. Thank you, dearest friends. Greater and greater abomination we will see. But these are signs that Jesus is coming soon. Are you ready?